Welcome to this tutorial. Today in Stormworks, we're pushing the boundaries with a steam turbine engine that's heading into the 40,000 Stormworks watts region. It's not game-breaking, but let's just say Stormworks might need to double-check its power limits after this one. Let's start by adding a platform using the block tool. Make sure to enable the mirroring tool to keep things symmetrical. This will give us a solid base for our engine. Next, we're adding 5 turbines. Align them so the steam input is facing the camera. After that, place the boiler, keeping the steam output towards the camera and the heat in-out source on the left. This alignment is crucial for everything to work smoothly. Make sure your inputs are correctly placed. This ensures the steam flows efficiently from the boiler to the turbines. Double-check the connections before moving on to the next step. Let's add some color to our build. This makes it easier to see what's what and helps with organization. Choose distinct colors for the boiler, turbines, and any other components to keep everything clear. The boiler can be powered by any furnace: diesel, electric, or nuclear. For this example, we're going with electric, because I'm a bit lazy and it's the easiest option. You know what they say, work smart, not hard, or something like that. Next, we need to add some condensers. Their role is to cool the steam back into water, completing our system. We're adding 2, because we're cool like that. Again, make sure our inputs and outputs are correctly placed. The steam input should be facing towards the turbines to ensure proper flow. Now that we've got all our essential components placed, let's get into the details. This is where we'll fine-tune our setup for optimal performance. A first tip is to always keep the furnace next to the boiler. This allows the water in the boiler to warm faster due to the radiant heat from the furnace. Also, make sure to keep the condensers away from any heat source to maintain their cooling efficiency. Additionally, do not produce more heat than necessary. It will overcook the condensers. Next, add a large impeller pump to the steam output of the boiler. Make sure the inputs and outputs are correctly placed. Let's pipe it all together now. We'll start with the turbines. You can toggle the mirror mode on and off to speed this up, but be aware that it won't work for all parts. The impeller pump works kind of like a car's turbo. It helps increase the pressure of the steam, boosting the overall efficiency of our system. The turbines are all hooked up and looking nice. With everything in place, we're ready to move on to the next steps of our build. The turbines will be piped up in parallel. How this works is that each turbine receives steam independently, allowing for better pressure management and increased efficiency across the system. It also spools the turbines faster, as they don't need to wait for pressure to build up sequentially, like a series setup would. Connect all your T-pieces, angles, and straights to complete the steam input side of the loop. While you're here, please help me out by pressing the like and subscribe button if you find the video mildly entertaining. Your support means a lot. Also, feel free to leave a comment or suggestion in the comment section. All done with the first part. Next, connect the steam out of the loop, again making sure our connections are placed correctly. For this part, we'll use a slightly darker red to differentiate the connections. Fun fact about pipes: did you know a pipe can hold multiple values simultaneously, like RPMs and water flow? However, It won't work for things like exhaust and air. Keep this in mind as we build our system. Understanding how fluids and gases behave is crucial for efficiency. The steam out of the turbines will need to be connected to the steam in on the condensers. We'll add a variable valve set to 50% to force a more equal distribution of steam to our two condensers. Firstly, let's add the pipes to connect the steam out of the turbines to the steam in on the condensers. Second, let's add the variable valves, ensuring they are set to 50% for optimal steam distribution. Whoops! Let's try that again. I accidentally added the on-off valve instead of the variable valve. Make sure to add the variable valve, and ensure it's rotated the correct way for proper flow. The fluid input should be at the top, as the steam from the turbines is coming in from above. Looking good. Now let's add a constant number to ensure the pressure of the valves is set to 50%. This will help maintain balanced steam distribution to our condensers. We'll add all logic in pink to ensure it's easy to recognize the different components quickly. Set the value to 0.5 by clicking on the variable valve with the Select tool. Then, connect it all up using the Logic tool to ensure everything functions as intended. Lastly, to complete the loop, we need to pipe the return feed back into the boiler. This will ensure that our system operates efficiently and keeps the steam cycle going. We'll use a blue color for the fresh water. For the next video, I will teach my human to use the speed-time continuum function to speed up the transitions between the steps, perfect for all you fast-scrolling youths out there. Boilers are really easy to use these days, as they mostly don't care how hot they get and won't blow up if the pressure gets too high. The only concern is if the water supply runs empty. So, we're adding a medium fresh water tank to the boiler's input side to ensure it won't run dry. Alright, we're all plumbed up for the most part. Let's also make sure the condensers are being kept perfectly cool. This is crucial for maintaining the efficiency of our system and ensuring optimal performance. Add the necessary pipes as shown, and then add a small impeller pump. Again, take note of the orientation. We will use the RPMs coming from the turbines to power the impellers, rendering the need for those pesky loud electric pumps unnecessary. Double-checking the inputs and outputs, we're looking fine. It's always good practice to verify these connections before moving on to ensure everything functions smoothly. Add a large electric fan, commonly known as a fluid heat radiator, 5x5 electric. Wow, what a mouthful! You can replace this with any radiator or heat exchanger you like. A cool option for boats or ships are liquid-to-liquid exchangers, which would eliminate the need for electricity to power the fans. Next, let's complete the turbine loop and move on to the furnace. We'll leave a little T-piece to connect to a generator in a bit. All the electric furnace needs is piping. It will move the warm fluid around by itself, so there's no need for additional pumps. Let's get those impellers spinning by connecting them to the turbine loop. This will harness the power generated from the turbines to drive the impellers. No need for pesky loud pumps. All piped up. Now, let's generate some power. Let's extend the platform a bit to make room for our power generators and gearboxes. We'll start by adding a few gearboxes. Pay attention to the triangle on the side, it indicates how the gearbox affects power, whether it converts RPMs to torque or vice versa. Set them both to use a 3:1 ratio. Remember, each gearbox adds about a 5% power penalty, so use only what you need. Next, add a large generator. This will simulate a decent amount of load on the turbines and provide us with the power output measurement. We need a battery to power our electric furnace and radiator fans. This will ensure that our system runs smoothly, even when there's no immediate power from the generators. Let's hook it all up using the logic tool. This will connect our battery to the electric furnace, variable valves, radiator fans, and the generator to ensure it keeps our battery charged. To keep the logic easy for this tutorial, we're going to use a threshold gate and a simple constant on block to control our pumps and furnace. First, the threshold gate will ensure we're not producing excessive heat, which could damage our condensers. We're going to measure the temperature from the furnace and toggle the on-off state with the threshold gate. This will help maintain optimal operating conditions and prevent overheating. If we let the furnace run at maximum temperature, it will exceed 300 degrees. Even with two condensers, they will thermal throttle and won't produce enough fluid back into our boiler. We'll set the threshold gate to work between 0 and 175 degrees. Don't forget to connect everything up. We're also going to add a constant on signal to keep our electric fans running, along with some necessary logic connections. You might think we don't have enough pumps and components between the turbines, boiler, and condensers. Keep it simple, this is more than enough. As they say, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Now, let's spawn it in and see if it works. Time to put our powerful steam turbine engine to the test. As you can see, our furnace is heating up, providing both heat and moving the coolant in and out on its own accord. Our boiler is also heating up, and we can see the coolant being moved from the furnace into the boiler. If you want to speed up the heating process, you can add additional threshold gates to let the electric furnace reach 300 degrees until the boiler reaches 100 degrees. It will be warm, but fast. It looks like all our connections are correct. Let's see what happens when the boiler reaches 100 degrees. We can see that steam is now being produced, and both the water in and steam out connections are working perfectly. We can see from our external fresh water tank that we are indeed not going to run dry, ensuring our boiler is performing optimally. Our turbines are also working optimally, as we can see. The steam in and pressure are maxed out. There's no need for extra pumps, as 60 liters per second and 60 atmospheres is the maximum for a single turbine. Our valves are also working as expected. With the valve control set to 0.5, it should distribute the steam much better than without, preventing one of the condensers from working a lot harder than the other. Looking at our gearboxes, they are correctly converting torque to RPM, giving us a massive 2,491 Stormworks watt. That's almost 500 watts per turbine. Amazing. Or, wait, what? This can't be right. We're only hitting a few thousand watts. This video was meant to showcase massive power, not just a mere trickle. Let's fix this and unleash the true potential of our steam turbine engine. For this step, we're going to need some more space in the back. Let's cut and move our generator backwards around 12 blocks or so. Maybe a bit more, we'll see how it fits. We're going to add 2 more gearboxes to enhance our power output. And we'll also add a modular clutch. A 3x3 will do just fine. Let's leave a 3-block gap in the middle. Don't forget to orient the clutches correctly. In our gap, we're adding 3 modular engine flywheels. These will add a total of 600 mass to our setup. Lastly, we'll add a normal clutch to complete our setup. Look, it all fits perfectly. Now, let's use the merge tool to connect it all together again. The magic of this setup lies in the clutches and the weight of the flywheels. We don't need to use blink hacks, just a bit of pressure magic. Now, let's add 2 constant number blocks. Set one to 1.0 and the second to 0.5. Next, connect the 0.5 constant to the regular clutch and the 1.0 constant to the first 2 modular clutches. Now that everything is connected, don't forget to set the gear ratios of the additional gearboxes to 3:1. Let's now see what power we've gained from our setup. Looking at our gearboxes, we can now see that the RPM speed is being tripled all the way down the line. And our flywheels and final gear are spinning up like they're training for the Olympics. Look at them go. Wow, we're cranking out an impressive 8,000 Stormworks watts and still going strong. Let's see how far we can take this power monster. Holy smokes! 24,000 Stormworks watt. That's some impressive numbers right there. But I reckon we can still do better. Let's add some more weight and really crank up that power. Let's add a bit more platform space and move the entire build a little toward the center. We want to make sure we have enough room for all the extra weight we're about to add. Let's make this powerhouse even bigger. Next, let's cut everything from the flywheels and move it back 6 blocks. This gives us the space to add 6 more flywheels, bringing our total to 9, with a combined weight of 200 per flywheel. That's a whopping 1,800 additional mass. This is going to seriously amp up our power output. Now, we could add more turbines, but we want to be strategic here. Instead of cramming in more turbines, we're focusing on adding as few as possible for maximum gains. Remember, for the space a large turbine takes up, we can fit in a bunch more flywheels. This will significantly boost our power without complicating the setup. Alright, it's time to check our final score for this video. Let's take a look at the numbers we've achieved after all our hard work. With all those flywheels spinning and the setup optimized, we're aiming for some jaw-dropping wattage. Drumroll, please. What do we have? Look at that. The power output is through the roof. We've gone from a few thousand watts to an astounding amount, proving that with the right tweaks and a bit of creativity, we can achieve massive power in Stormworks. Amazing. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this build and found it helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more Stormworks content. Your support really helps me create more awesome tutorials.